Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1970 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Today we have wrapped up the month of July. We will take a look here at the standings, the league leaders, and also it coincides with the trade deadline. So we'll take a look and see if there are any trades that occurred here at the end of the month. And if we have some time at the end, we'll take a look back at the trades that occurred over the season, a lot of them by us, and see how those trades are working out. So that's the game plan. It is Super Bowl Sunday, so I'm going to try to keep this as short as possible. The game coming up within, I guess, about 2.5 hours from now. And so I want to be able to get this uploaded and edited and out there on social media, so you all have time to watch it when you get done with the game today. Okay, let's talk about our team here as we close out the month of July. We are losing a lot of ball games. We've lost 8 of the last 9 since this day off here. We are on the verge of getting swept by the Yankees. We had a doubleheader yesterday in which we lost 3-2 to 3-2. We lost this morning 5-3. That closes out July. We move to August, a fresh month. We have one more game, which will take place tomorrow against the Yankees, with Pasquale facing Mel Stottlemyre, their ace. And at any rate, we have another whole month to get through here. At the end of this month, as we go into September, we have the September call-ups. I will very likely bring up Dennis Leonard and Dick Ruthven, who are in Double-A. I believe that they are 19-year-olds who are pitching well. What have we got to lose? Give them a month of service time. See if they can get the job done. And if they are good, then maybe they have a chance of making our rotation out of spring training next year. So we will keep that in mind. Okay. So yeah, here's the month of August. You'll see that we have some of the last contests versus teams in our own division. As we get toward the end of the month, we flip it over and we'll be facing pretty much all American League East teams. So let's take a look at the standings. Here is the American League as it stands at the end of July. Baltimore 1 game up on New York. Certainly helps New York that they just have won the first 3 games of the series. They're keeping pace with the Orioles. The Orioles have suffered some injuries of late, and I think they probably are at a disadvantage going forward. You'll see that the rest of the division is pretty much toast already. Looking at our division, Oakland has a 5-game lead over Minnesota. Minnesota hanging in there. Even California, despite having a sub-500 record, is only 8 games back. Kansas City, us, and the White Sox are pretty much toast. We are 46-61 on a 4-game losing streak. Like I said, we've lost 8 of 9. You'll see here we're 2 for 8 in our last 10. We have 100 home runs on the year, which is good enough for 6th best in the American League. Our team ERA is ballooned. Our batting average is kind of maintained right around 250. Our Pythagorean is actually worse now. We should be 47-60, and we're 46-61. So I guess we have a win to gain at some point here. The game will probably allow that to happen. Let's go ahead and take a look at the National League. The Mets, well, they were actually on the verge of putting away this division, but they've lost 3. And hey, what do you know? Coincidentally, Philadelphia's won 3. So they are 8 games back, with Pittsburgh 9.5 back under 500. The rest of the division is most likely done. Then we have the West with Los Angeles, a 3-game lead over Houston. Both teams top-notch pitching, so they're keeping pace with one another. Everybody else in this division is done. Wow, San Diego on a 4-game winning streak. That is impressive. That team is horrible. We got to know. We've sent them most of our players. So that's the American League, the National League. I mean, I don't really see anything changing among the leaders. I guess this is a toss-up. If I had to lay money on it, I would think the Yankees would probably beat out Baltimore, just because they have suffered less injuries. But, TBD, we'll see. So let's go ahead and take a look next at the league leaders. We'll try to get through this quickly as we can. We'll start with batting average. We do all the hitters, and then we mix in fielding, and then we'll do pitching. We're not going to cover every statistic, just the main ones. And as you can see here, Hal King, he's pretty much led wire to wire in batting average. He's batting .324 for Boston. He was an all-star. We have Frank Howard somehow managing to bat .319 for the Senators. Tovar Torrey, Billy Parker, Tommy Reynolds, Willie Stargell, and Roy White, the top 8 at 300 and above. And a bunch of players that are starting to fall off, including Darren Johnson, who's in a huge slump right now. His average has dropped from 303 to 283. So 20 points in just a couple of weeks. And I mentioned in today's game earlier, as we look at him directly here, I feel like because he batted .283 last year, and you can see that that most of the numbers are almost right in tune with one another, that this is probably where he'll cap out, and he'll probably start to hit again. That's what I think. That's how the game typically works. So we'll see him maintain from here on out right around that 283 batting average. Joe Pepitone on the list for us, and you can see the rest of the top leaders there. Next up, we'll just try to scoot through these as quickly as we can. Rick Monday leading in at bats by a couple. Doubles. We're not going to have anybody on. Oh, we do. Wow, Tommy Agee with 18. He had one earlier today. Joe Torre leading in doubles with 23. There's Rod Carew and Tovar, both of Minnesota. Del Unser, Alvarado, Cardinal, Davey Johnson, Jay Johnstone, Pat Kelly. And then you'll see the rest of them here rounding out the top 25. Then we have grounding in the double plays. Yeah, Darren Johnson just had a bunch. Absolute rally killers. Nobody kills a rally like Carl Yastrzemski, though. 27 double plays he's grounded into this year, followed by some slow foots. We got Frank Howard, Thurman Munson, Zoilo Versalles. Kind of surprised to see him on the list. He's kind of speedy. Just kind of a ground ball hitter, I guess. And yeah, so people you would expect. Extra base hits. Carmen Fanzone with 42. That's wacky. We got 3 representatives on the list in the top 25. You know what? Let's take a look at fielding percentage at each position. We usually skip this, but we did not do it in June because we did the all-time leaders. So Manny Sanguillen is 7th overall. Gene Tennis has the best fielding percentage despite having the weakest arm. Makes no sense. Then we have at first base, Darren Johnson. Hey, he could win a Gold Glove this year if he holds steady. He'll definitely be in the race for that. Second base is Van Kelly by a stretch over Frank Quilisi. I mean, that would be weird, right, if he won a Gold Glove. Third base, Aurelio Rodriguez and Rich Rowell not doing so well. Sal Bando, the class of the field. Shortstop, we don't have anyone representing. We've traded away Freddie Patek, who's now playing every day for Baltimore because of injury. So that's all of our guys. Leo Cardenas leading. 980, pretty good for a shortstop. In left field, well, Joe Pepitone's over in right field. He made the error today. I miscalled that. I said it was Agee. It was not. It was actually Joe Pepitone that made the error in the ball game earlier today, but he was in right field, so I don't think that counts. Then center field, AG will be represented there. Kind of near the top. I mean, not that far off. Rick Monday. Covering all that ground in the Coliseum. And right field, yeah, we don't currently have a representative because we traded Bill Robinson to St. Louis. So those are his stats as a pilot. Not sure we learned a whole lot there. Let's take a look at the hit leaders. Billy Parker with 119 leads the American League. If you watched the game earlier today, you saw that AG got his 100th hit of the season. So he's just off the top 25. Next up is getting hit by a pitch. How about that? Bill Melton of the White Sox has been hit 6 times. Pepe has been hit 4 times. You can always feel free to pause it if you want a longer look at the stats. Now, Tony Soleta, we've shut him down this series as far as home runs. He's had a couple clutch hits, but he's got 29 home runs for the Yankees. Nate Colbert of Oakland, that was a good trade for them. They traded for him right after the season started, and he's come through. Carmen Fanzone, that's weird. Darren Johnson right there. Reggie starting to hit finally. Mike Epstein and Joe Pepitone just hit his 20th yesterday. And some people here that you would think would have more, like Mercer, Boomer, Frank Howard for sure, Capital Punisher, Pop Stargell, all those guys should have more home runs. And maybe they will. Moving on, intentional walks, out of curiosity, Sam Bowens. All right. On base percentage, sure. Why not? We'll take a look. Sal Bando, he must walk a lot more than I thought. 85 walks to 47 strikeouts. That is an excellent ratio. That's why he sits atop Hal King, Russ Nagelson. You could take a walk. That's impressive. Frank Howard, Epstein, Parker, Roy White. Nobody in our team. Mike Hegan, was he on the list? Mike Hegan would take a walk for us. He's not going to be on the list. All right, we traded him away. Outfield assists. Wow, Jose Cardinal has 12. It's because he's got a perfectly average arm. It's nonetheless very impressive. Jay Johnstone has a great arm. Bobby Mercer has a terrible arm. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of schlubs on this list because the game will automatically attempt to take an extra base on really bad outfielders, and thus they get more outfield assists. Now, on base plus slugging, Frank Howard with an edge over Hal King. Johnson and Pepitone putting up some good numbers. I mean, again, Darren Johnson is plummeting. I hate to see him ruin a good year, but we have to keep playing him because sooner or later he'll even out, like I said. There's your overall plate appearances with Toby Harrah, leadoff hitter for the Senators. We don't care about range. RBI we care about. Tony Soleta has 80 in 107 games played. That's what we have played. Darren Johnson hasn't had an RBI in 2 weeks. Joe Pepitone makes the list. Okay, runners thrown out by catchers. Elrod Hendricks has 25. Manny Sanguillen at 13, although his has only come in the last 2 months or so. So he's making some headway. Clay Dalrymple had back-to-back starts. Elrod Hendricks, what's his arm? Yeah. I mean, it's not even league average. His range is terrible. His fielding is terrible. But I'm assuming a lot of people attempt to steal. 70 attempts. Throwing out 35%. Wow. And he was actually a plus WAR and plus range, despite having. I mean, what do the ratings even mean, man? I swear, It's my biggest question. If I could ask the creator of this game anything, is like, what were you thinking with the ratings? Here's the percentage thrown out. Jim Franch. I mean, yeah, you don't run on this guy. He's got a 91. He's good. All right. There you go. Ed Kirkpatrick with the worst. Not even 19%. Run scored. Ike Brown for Detroit. The last place team with a... He must play every game. 96 games. I guess he's just consistent. Tommy Agee and Darren Johnson. We moved Agee out of the top spot in our lineup, trying to shuffle things around. He might have another 10 runs if he kept him there. Okay, sack hits. This is all pitchers, right? Pitchers, pitchers, pitchers. Pitchers. Sack flies. Luis Alvarado has 10 for Boston. That's weird. 44 RBI, 10 of them are from sack flies. What is his sack fly rating? Let's find out. Skills to pay the bills. It's only an 83 for a situation. Again, how is that possible? I don't know. Nobody on our team. Where are we at? Slug. Wow. Johnson and Pepitone. Right there, man. Good job. I never would have thought that. Steals. Jose Cardinal has 30. Agee has 24. Angel Bravo and Bert Campaneris are 20 and 21 respectively. And Jerry Devanin has 14. Good job. Okay. Who's getting struck out the most? Billy Parker. One more to hit the century mark. Tommy Agee at 74. He's our strikeout king. Strikeout percent. Yeah, I mean, Joe Pepitone doesn't strike out much because we hit and run a lot with him, which is amazing that he has 20 home runs. Trips. We got Cesar Tovar with 7. Tommy Agee's got 4. The catcher, Randy Brown. I want to give a couple shout-outs here really quick. First of all, I think it was Julio L. that provided the Randy Brown photo. This is actually Randy Brown. We could not find a photo of him, but Julio dug one up. We've added it, and then when I do the 1971 season next year, I think I can take this photo and place it within an Angels 1971 card. So that'll be fun. We'll give him a real card next year. Also, James K. provided some information to me that got a card for Randy Brown's teammate, Doug Howard. We'll show you that momentarily. It's actually pretty cool, and it's got a good story behind it. Walk leaders is Sal Bando with 85. He is the best. We got nobody. Mike Hegan, was he ever on the list? No. Right? Nope. Okay. Now, and I've noticed, let's just go back to this. I've noticed that more players are over 50 walks right now. And I know that our team, if you were to calculate all of the players, the ones we've traded and the ones we have now, I bet you we have walked more batters than we've struck out as pitchers. And I really wonder, what that has done to the league. Is the rest of the league contributing that way? Okay, we're going to go and look at pitchers here real quick, then we'll move on to the trades, complete games. We're just going in order alphabetically here, I guess. Catfish Hunter has 8 already. Wow. Wow, Mater. Okay, so that's impressive. He's got double digits every year. So he's going to get there if he stays healthy. Joe Coleman, Dick Estelle out of nowhere. You see some schlubs, you see some big names, Hall of Famers. Okay, ERA. Mel Stottlemyre who we're going to face tomorrow, leading with a 2.72. Jim Nash has owned our ass all year. Fritzy just beat us. Andy Messersmith has beat us. I mean, just look at these names. You know how much they've clobbered us all year. Dick Boswell in there. What's his ERA as a... Oh, he's got actually a better ERA as a pilot than he did as a twin for us. So just hasn't provided anything as far as victories go. And that might not be his fault, right? I mean, we're doing what we can do. Appearances, Denny Riddleberger has 56. We do have to send Denny Riddleberger to AAA. We have really overused him. He'll go down for 2 weeks and then come back. And then we have Fred Gladding with a 69 rating that we signed him off the free agent list, and yet he's among the league leaders. Ron Locke will now be a starter for us for a month before we hit September and move him to the bullpen again. Some very strange results. We didn't do games played. Rich Morales has played in the most games as a batter. Darren Johnson, Tommy Agee. Okay. Which pitchers got the most double plays? Oh, Vollweiler, a guy that never existed really. All right, let's see here. Who's hit the most batters? Rudy May with 10, Dave Boswell with 9. I don't think he's hit any as us. Yeah, he got one. He clipped somebody. Ron Locke in relief has hit 5 batters. That's not great. Home runs allowed. Sonny Siebert has given up 29. Pasquale's given up 19. Dave Boswell 17. We've traded away so many players, it's hard to even account for our own pitching. Innings pitched. Fritz Peterson has 200 innings pitched as we turn the calendar to August. That is not what you want for a starting pitcher. All right, moving along. I don't really care about that stuff. Quality starts? Why not? Al Downing tossed a no-hitter this year. Him and his teammate, Mel Stottlemyre, both have 19. That's how the Yankees are going to get it done and get past Baltimore. Okay, moving on to saves. Well, yeah, not a lot of saves. Daryl Knowles has 18 for the Senators. Steve Hamilton's having a good series against us. He's got 17. Fred Lasher for Detroit. There's Mike Marshall. We traded him away to California. Things have not gone so well. Skippy had 7 for us before we traded him to St. Louis. Denny Riddleberger currently leading the team, even though he's not in a closer's role. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. Shutties. Yeah, Dick Stell's got 5. Does he have 2 against us or 3? No, I can't tell. I guess he doesn't. All right. Yeah, you're not going to find any. We don't even have a complete game this year. Starts for pitchers. There you go, if you needed it. Strikeouts pitched. Andy Messersmith has 154. Top 25 are all over 100. All the good names. Messersmith, Chance, Vita Blue, Downing, McDowell, not Dave Moorhead, Nash, Catfish, Mickey, Phoebus. I mean, yeah, these are the giants. The big names, that's what I mean. Okay. Strikeouts per 9. Is there anybody averaging over 9? No, Dave Boswell. What? What a good trade for us. I think this guy, he will get it together. He better. We've just signed him to a long-term deal. That's crazy. All right, we're almost done here, guys. I guess wins, right? Catfish Hunter has 15. 15 and 7. Maybe a Cy Young Award winner. Downing, Fritzy, Stottle. Yeah, we won't even get a 10-game winner this year. We traded away our best chance, Brabender, yesterday. And there's the winning percentage. Okay. So there's your league leaders for the American League. What we do for the National League is we just try to make it easy. There's the main categories. Darrell Evans, is he back from injury yet? Don't forget, at the end of the month, or the beginning of the next month, we always do a pyramid of players, the top players in the game. Darrell Evans was on the first one we did 2 months ago. And Don Wilson topped last month's list. So I will have that. I'll probably work on that while I'm watching the Super Bowl, and that'll be ready tomorrow. We'll probably do it in the pregame for tomorrow's game. And then we'll post it on the community page on YouTube and other social media. Orlando Cepeda has 26 home runs. I feel like he hasn't had a home run in forever. He's had one since the All-Star break. And that's what this, Baseball Mogul does. It front loads all the stats and then punishes the players the rest of the year because it wants to make it realistic. Now, he's got 99 RBI, for crying out loud. That is bonkers. Wow. That is nuts. Johnny Bench, on any other year, would be having a killer season with 80 RBI and 20 home runs. Steals is Matt Alexander for the Cubbies. Wasn't even in the majors in real life. 48 for 59. Pretty solid. Okay, let's take a look at the pitcher categories, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's do wins, ERA, strikeouts. Where's that at? Strikeouts pitched. And saves. 3 18-game winners. Nolan, Don Wilson, and Rick Wise. Look at those 3 Houston pitchers. Don Wilson has a 1.62 ERA. He's probably going to still be on the list, on the pyramid, top of the pyramid. Nolan Ryan's got 210 strikeouts. Let's look at Nolan Ryan. 18-2 with a 181 ERA. Crazy. And saves is Kent Tekulve. Cool dude with the glasses. Oh, he doesn't have the shades on. Okay. So there you go. There's the leaders for the National League. All right. I want to show you just real quick the California Angels, Doug Howard, and then we'll look at trades. Doug Howard. Okay, this is crazy. So here is a legitimate Doug Howard baseball card. We were just using the Baseball Reference photo previously. And thanks to James K. for letting me know that Doug Howard had a 1977 O-Pee-Chee, the Canadian version of Topps baseball card for the Blue Jays. Doug Howard was traded prior to the inaugural year for the Blue Jays from Cleveland to Toronto. And so the O-Pee-Chee set, because they were adding their first national team, went down to spring training and took photos of like every spring training player and added those cards to the O-Pee-Chee set separate from the top set. So you can only get this card in the 1977 O-Pee-Chee set. So when I looked up, I clicked on Doug Howard's name, it'll take you to his Baseball Reference page. And when I did that, I looked and saw that in 1977, Doug Howard was was released. On March 29th, he never even made it to opening day. And you could see by his expression, he's like, I'm not making it. I'm not going to make the cut. That was it. He was done. He never played in the majors again. He never played one game for the Blue Jays. So that is how rare this card is. I went to Mercari, because that's where I do all my sales for my cards, and I could not find a Doug Howard card there. Then I went to eBay, and I found a whole bunch of cards, but they're all in the $25 range because because they're so hard to come by. And I did find Doug Howard has 3 other cards that were minor league cards, and I did find them as well, but those are all expensive. So Doug Howard raking in the dough for cards. If I can find the cheapest one I found was a $4 Blue Jays Doug Howard card, who was coming from Canada. It was $10 to ship it, and then plus it takes forever. So I was like, that's not worth it. So if anybody out there has a Doug Howard Toronto Blue Jays card in their collection, I will trade you something for it. I just want to have it. Okay. Now, we just wrapped up the month of July, as I mentioned before. There is no other trades that occurred today on the trade deadline. We did get rid of Brabender yesterday for a couple schlubbies. That helped us keep our payroll down and protect our losses. Right now we're projected to lose $230,000. That's fine. That's only because we gave Boswell all that money. And then we just had that previous trade where St. Louis traded Steve Huntz to Houston for 3 minor leaguers. So let's just go ahead and look at the trades real quick that have happened all the way since the beginning of the year, out of curiosity, and see if any of them have panned out. They're not going to be in the best order here for some reason, but before spring training, before opening day, I should say, these trades all took place. Rico Petrocelli going to Baltimore would have been a great deal. Unfortunately, he got injured, and that's how Patek took over. It looks like Petrocelli's back in the lineup, though. He's healthy again. He's having a good year for Baltimore. Jim Fregosi was traded to the Dodgers, and not putting up good stats, but he is their everyday shortstop, it looks like. In return, they got Bobby Valentine and Lee Lacy. I'm sure these are minor leaguers, yeah. It almost always goes that way. It's like a 2-for-1 deal. Bob Locker was traded to the Dodgers. He is their closer, so the White Sox gave him up. He went to L.A. and has 15 saves. So the Dodgers were wheeling and dealing early on before the season started. They had to give up Bill Buckner, though. He's in single A for the White Sox, age 20, and Doyle Alexander, future Tiger property. Okay, so, I mean, that's pretty much all the excitement there. Yeah, we traded a couple schlubs for Dave Leonard. He did not work out for us. He made 3 starts, got injured. We traded him to the Padres, which you'll see later on, for schlubs. Here's that Nate Colbert trade. Good job by them. He went to Oakland. Has been really good. Manny Trio. I mean, the Padres have some good young players, but much like our Pilots, they're still trying to figure it out. Then we traded Mike Marshall, our closer, April 16th. We're like, we're not good. We got off to a terrible start. And I'm like, well, who do we have on our team that we could trade away and get a good starting pitcher? Well, we traded Marshall. He's been horrible for the Angels. 11 saves, 4 blueies, 6.25 ERA. And we got Ricky Clark and Aurelio Rodriguez. Ricky Clark, I'm like, oh my God. This guy had a 89 rating. He comes to our team. We get 8 starts out of him. He gets injured 3 times. 7 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. All for us this year. And that was it. I'm like, bullshit, man. We're trading this guy. And we ended up trading him to the Twins for a bag of balls. Aurelio's been okay. His batting average sucks, but he's shown some power, especially in our because he has gap power. We have our Brainiac Stadium has short alleyways. So he's taken advantage of that, and he plays good defense. I mean, he's made, 8 errors at third base. Actually, he's been terrible. God, that is annoying. He's got a 98 rating. All of his stats are great. But also he gets to a lot more ground balls because of his range, so he's going to have more errors. but still, he's in the negative. I don't care. He's going to be fine for us in the future. We're not trading him anytime sooner. Dick McAuliffe got traded to the Cardinals, and then he subsequently got traded to Oakland. So he's been on 3 teams this year. I don't know if he's their second baseman every day or not. We'll see more about that. St. Louis gave up some schlubs. Then we traded schlubs for a schlub, and then we cut that schlub. So that was just getting rid of some dead weight in our AAA. Then we made a big deal. We traded away Marty Patton to the Senators, and he's been okay. 5-6, 3.83 ERA, 3 complete games and a shutout. What? He's killing it for them. Good job by him. We also got rid of our catcher, Jerry McNertney. He's in AA. He was our MVP last year. And in return, we got a bunch of schlubs. Now, Camilo Pascual is at the end of his career. He has not done much for us except for go out there every 5 days and throw the baseball around so it gets, deposited into the bleachers. But he's fine. He's done his job. I got no problem with that. I thought Dick Billings would be really helpful to us, but he was terrible defensively. We put him in the minors. We ended up trading him to the Mets later on. You'll see that. And then we traded, after I got frustrated with Dave Leonard, I packed his ass up, sent him to San Diego, and in return we got Jerry Devannon, which has been great. He's our leadoff hitter. Plays good defense. Hits all right. Steals some bases. I think we won that deal. Plus Fred Kendall, who's in single A and maybe a catcher of the future. Okay. Then we took another chance. We got rid of Bob Meyer, who continued to get injured for us. We could just never get him right. We traded, and plus I don't like left-handed starters, really. So I traded him to Pittsburgh. He did all right, and then he got injured. He's on the IL. In return, we got Manny Sanguillen, which turned out to be great. Solid player, offensively and defensively. So we're grateful for that. That's our catcher for now and the future. And as a throw-in, we took Ramon Hernandez, and he's really helped us, despite having a terrible overall rating. So good for him. Then we've got just a few more here. Al Bunbury went from Baltimore to California. He's in AA. It was a schlub on schlub violence there. We traded Freddie Patek to Baltimore. As I mentioned, we got Mark Belanger back. I thought that would mean something, but he just doesn't come through when we need him. He's been okay defensively, and actually he's hit all right. But I think I'd rather have Devannon as a catalyst than Belanger as a defensive specialist. We just saw Hal McRae. He pinch hit yesterday's game. He got traded from Cincinnati to the Yankees. The Yankees gave up a future shortstop. There's Dick Billings. We packed him up, sent him to the Mets. We got Jack DeLauro. All he's done is pitch pretty decently in relief. So good job by Jack DeLauro. There's the Cincinnati and Yankee deal there. Philadelphia traded Larry Boa to Oakland. That was a good deal. He's hitting all right. Let's see what else we got here. A couple Oakland guys going back, people for the future. Then Baltimore had to cut payroll. Remember? Oh, man, I'm surprised he didn't cut more payroll. We'll check that, too. Ron Santo gets traded to Montreal for Pepe Frias. This was a total salary dump. I don't think it's enough for them either, but he's not hit well for them. That's too bad. And then Hank Aaron gets traded to Oakland. That sent Reggie Jackson to the minor leagues despite having a hell of a season. That didn't make any sense. And look, he's only played in 11 games. That's ridiculous. He's got what? Oh, he's 36 years old. In real life, he was still hammering it, you know? He's still not terrible defensive. Well, he's got no range. So, but anyway, the point of it all is it's ridiculous. George Hendrick goes to the Braves. He's probably the gem in that deal. Then we started getting rid of all of our schlubs. This is right after the All-Star break, and we had that special video where we traded all these guys. So you pretty much know what went down. How has our players done for the other team? Mike Hegan went to the Cardinals. He was really their only player. And in half a month, he's batting .304, thrown out 3 times on the base path. Skip Lockwood didn't make the team. Bill Robinson just got called up. Miguel Fuentes, nope, minor leagues. This was a 5-for-1 deal. Jim Sundberg. That's how we. Who did we get for that? To St. Louis. Oh, we got Jose Cruz. I still think we crushed that deal. 24 hits, batting .353, 5 out of 8 stolen bases. That's not good. He's walked 10 times, .430 on base percentage. I think that was a great trade. And that will help us long into the future. Okay, then we did the Dave Boswell deal. You know how Boswell's doing. He hasn't got a win for us yet. Jerry Stevenson, he continues to pitch okay. He's got a win for the Twins, .405 ERA. Ricky Clark, yeah, so we dumped Ricky Clark on the Twins. He's still injured forever. And the Dick Bainey. John Morris was the other guy that went to St. Louis. Sorry, I got him mixed up there. Then we traded Wayne Comer to the Padres for Bucky Brandon. He's getting a little bit of chance to be a fourth outfielder on that team. That's pretty much it, right? We just traded Brabender. We told you about Steve Hunts. And there's the Dick McAuliffe getting traded for the 3rd time to Oakland for Dave Hamilton, who's not ready for prime time. Okay. Shoot, what was the other thing I wanted to check on? It was something up here. I've already forgotten. You know what? If it was important, I would have remembered. Okay, I think that's pretty much going to conclude the video. If we look at the calendar, we are in the dog days. We are 15 games under 500, and we have a stretch here where we're going to play our teams in our own division. I don't really... I almost said I don't really care. Obviously, you know that I care. But if we continue to lose and we can drop to have the worst record in the American League, right now we are in line for a top 5 pick. San Diego's going to, they have a stranglehold on the number 1 pick next year. So, if we can get a couple decent players in the draft next year, couple that with our minor leaguers that we have working their way up. Dennis Leonard, he has a 78 rating. He'd be the 2nd best starter. And, well, actually, he'd be 3rd because Dick Ruthven would be number 2. So we'll probably call these 2 guys up during the September call-ups. We do have Vukovic, Frost in single A. They're really young. They're only 17 years old. They're not coming up for a year or 2 more. But we have some hope in building a team. When the free agency market comes, at the end of the year, we can probably invest in 1 good player to keep our payroll in line. So, okay, I think that's going to do it. Thank you guys for watching. Like and or subscribe to the channel. We do have the contest going on. If you watched the game earlier today, you'll see the prizes and the duck race that we are that we have the 9 contestants for. You can get in on that by being a subscriber. You just let me know in the comments you want to join, and I will add you to the duck race. Thanks for hanging in there, guys, and enjoy the Super Bowl. We'll come back tomorrow and wrap up the series versus the Yankees. Until then, everyone, have a great day.